welcome any media who are here. Welcome, I hope we can help you tonight if you need help. And I would like to ask that everybody who's got a cell phone, if you'll please turn it silent the duration of the meeting, so we run the meeting correctly. We will begin the meeting tonight with an invitation from Mr. Charles Chandler.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this day and for your many blessings. We thank you that you loved us so much you sent your son to die and pay for our sins. As we approach this Thanksgiving season, may we be thankful, but may we also be grateful that you have blessed us abundantly by allowing us to live in this community, this state, and this nation. We pray for this meeting tonight, that we would make wise decisions that would be the best for all concerned. And we thank you, we love you, and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Continue standing salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All those in favor? The minutes are approved as written. Just for the purpose of those of you who may have never come before us, if you look to your right, you will see two clocks in the wall. If we have a really busy agenda, we limit both sides, both agenda items, to 10 minutes per side, so please be aware.
We need to speak up a little louder.
A little louder, can't hear me? I'll see if I can make it a little, all right, can you hear me now? Is that better? All right, thank you, sir. All right, we will begin tonight with the application number, item number 1. Raheem Pontifillet, if I say that correctly, has applied for a variance to Appendix C, which is zoning Article 14, Supplemental Standards, Section 1421, which is a family or personal care home, 5 acres in the Ag 5 Agricultural Residential. The property is located at 7433 Pulaski Road. Mr. Loach?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have Raheem Pontifillet, who has applied for a variance to Appendix C, zoning Article 14, Supplemental Standards, Section 1421, where it states it must be 5 acres in Ag 5 zoned property. The property is a total acreage of 3. Here is where it's located on the map. You can see it's west of Statesboro, and it is in the natural open space character area. And then here's the zoning map, which shows it is zoned Ag 5 and that the properties surrounding it are also zoned Ag 5. Here's an aerial of the parcel. And then this is the site plan submitted by the applicant. As you can see, this is the parking area, and then there's a recreation area that is proposed in the back of the property. This is the proposed parking area for the property, which is located in the front. And this is the proposed recreation area located in the back of the property, which is a total of 250 square feet. This shows into the property with the zoning signs, and then this is east of the property, west of the property, and then north of the property. And the staff does recommend approval of the variance request, and I'm going to go back to the site plan.
All right, thank you. And Mrs. Pontifillet, the acting as agent, is she here? All right, you can come up now, please.
Madam Chair, can I address something that was asked of me prior to the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Because I think this needs to clear this up. I was asked, the variance is for a family or personal care home, and the conditional use that's following this is for a group. It says group personal care home. And the difference between those, and let me say the conditional use should be for a family personal care home, because that's a group, or that's a personal care home that offers care to two through 6 persons, and this application was a facility that will have no more than 4 persons. So the variance description is family care home is correct, family personal care home. The conditional use is actually for a family personal care home because a group personal care home has, offers care for 7 to 15 persons, and that is not what is being applied for. It was just a mistake, I think, in terminology, and they're going to correct that on the hearing ad for the Board of Commissioners.
All right, so
So I think that will correct it.
as long as we make comment, it's in the record that we're making.
Yeah,
this
but you
work.
need to understand the conditional use is for a family personal care home, not a group personal care home.
And is it not a fact that this variance would have to be contingent on the county commissioners passing the conditional care,
That's correct.
conditional use?
That's correct.
All right, so when we make our recommendation, we make our verdict on the, we need to say it's contingent.
Contingent upon them approving the conditional use, yes. It'll be null and void or moot if they don't approve the conditional use.
All right, you understand what we're saying? All right,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, go right ahead.
Thank you for having us today. The personal care home, that's the correct terminology?
It's
Family.
family personal care home.
Personal care
Yeah.
home. We will have a maximum of 4 individuals in the home. It's for 21 years and older. However, we're thinking they may be in the median range of between 40 and like 80. So there's not a whole lot of mobility. I know the community or any community may have concerns that these individuals may disturb the community. I don't think that that's going to happen in terms of these individuals can't necessarily navigate without our assistance. We will have a van to get them around. The day-to-day care, we will be assisting them with that as well. I think we read something about there has to be like a right-of-way or something in that terms of ambulance, what is it?
Turnaround access.
First aid, not first aid, emergency vehicles to get through. The road is open. We're not like stored in the back on a dirt road. We're in the forefront. So I think my husband looked it up. It is at least 2 or more fire stations close by in the event something would happen. We've taken the necessary steps to the home to ensure that the care in the home is provided. We have the fire system placed in. We redid the bathroom to ensure that,
It's handicap accessible.
yeah, that's handicap accessible. This is pretty much our last step in terms of approval. So on our end, we believe we've did everything correctly in order to move forward. So we're just asking that you all approve it so we can.
Is that recreation area in the back fenced in?
It is not fenced in. There's a fence on the very back end of the property. There's a section of our property where there's
An easement.
an easement. It's an old fence. I guess whoever lived there before they put up a fence, it's on the back end of it. There is somewhat of a fence on the side, but it's like extremely old.
Are there any questions from this board? There are a couple people signed up to speak. So if you've got 7 minutes left, so if you want to just stand by, and I will call you back up if there's some questions that some of the people who want to speak may have for you.
Yes,
All right?
ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Marsha McMillan has signed to speak.
Good evening. Like the chairwoman said, my name's Marcia McMillan, and I'm speaking in opposition of the personal care home. I am a Bullitt County native, and I own land that borders the property. My sister owns land on the other side that borders the property as well. And then my mother, who's here tonight, has land behind it. So all three of us border it. My mom and most of the people on this side of the room are opposed to it. And we did have a petition with 126 signatures as well. We have several concerns for it. My sister also could not be here tonight. She's out of town with a business trip, so I do speak for her as well.
Do you have a copy of that petition?
Yes, ma'am. It's multiple pages. Different people were working on it, and we also had an online petition to bring it to you.
Please. Or you can start down at the end and let with Mr. Lane, and he can pass it this way. Thank you.
I also have a printed one from an online. And we crossed off any names that were duplicates, so that goes with it. Okay, to begin with, I would like to say that I do appreciate the importance of providing care for individuals who need it and supporting them, and I respect the intentions behind this initiative. But given the proximity of the development to my property and my family's, I would like to address a few concerns. They did mention what type of facility it would be, but our concern is, are there any issues with sex offenders or parolees or any mental health disabilities where the person might not be able to understand if there was any danger or anything like that? They did answer how many residents there would be, up to 4. Currently, it is a 1,734 square foot home. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and according to Georgia State licensing requirements, the facility must meet minimum space requirements of at least 80 square feet of usable floor space per resident in bedrooms. The neighborhood is currently residential, as it's zoned for Ag 5 and residential use only, and I'm concerned about potential increases in traffic, noise, and parking. Along with the parking, if you could go back, well, this is the notice that I received in the mail, and my land borders it on the west side, I guess you could say. It might be the east side, but either way, it's to the left of the parking if you're looking at it like that. And from my understanding, it needs to be about 25 feet from the property line, and according to that, it looks like it's getting a little close, like it might be infringing on my property. I'm also interested in how safety, staffing, and supervision will be managed. There are several elderly residents. My mom wanted to point out that she is elderly and single, so safety is always of the utmost importance for her and for us, because we don't want anything happening to her. There are several elderly residents and widows in the area that will not feel safe with a group home so close to their property. And we'd like to know what safety measures will be taken to ensure that they will continue to feel safe and comfortable in their own homes as they have for so many years prior. And we would also like to know what kind of security measures will there be for the residents. Like you addressed, there is not a fence around it right now. The fence that was there was used for livestock, and that was many, many years ago, and it is falling down. So there are no fences available. Is there going to be video surveillance? What if someone were to get out? It's a wooded area. There's a creek right down the road. My mom has a pond on her property, and Brandon Lake is right across the road behind the woods. So these are very, valid concerns, not to mention all the wildlife. There's lots of snakes, coyotes, bobcats. So we want to make sure, that not just the safety of the neighbors, but the safety of the residents is addressed as well. As far as the fire stations nearby, those are volunteer fire stations. They're not full-time staffed. So response time for EMS, fire, and sheriff's department is going to be a minimum of 10 minutes. And that's if they're just already in the car and on their way there, because the property is roughly 8 miles from town. So that is a concern as well. According to Georgia requirements as well, the administrator needs to meet state training and competency requirements, and the staff must meet necessary qualifications as well. So we want to make sure all of that's in order. One of the main concerns as well is a decrease in property value. And research consistently shows that the introduction of commercial facilities in residential areas decreases property values and disrupts the established lifestyle of its residents. According to the National Association of Realtors, encroaching developments can lead to a decrease in surrounding property values by up to 12%. And inappropriate fencing and signs have a negative effect on the value of property. I will go ahead and say, when I saw the proposed parking lot, it put a very bad taste in my mouth. That's not what you see in the residential area out in the country. Did not like that. As I said, the property is owned for Ag 5, not for a group personal care home or family care home, whatever it's called. The surrounding land and homeowners purchased their land and homes with the intention of living in a quiet residential neighborhood in a country setting and oppose having it rezoned. The community has no need for a care home. According to Google, there are at least 16 group care homes or facilities within a 15-mile radius of Pulaski Road. It is my belief that there are other locations closer to emergency services that would better suit the needs of residents of a group home.
Thank you, ma'am.
I apologize for being nervous.
It's perfectly fine. Dennis Brahma, am I saying that correctly?
Good afternoon.
If you'll state
My-
your name.
I am Evelyn Wilson. My husband Johnny and I have lived at 7325 Pulaski Road since 1971. I'm Evelyn Wilson.
Okay.
Okay, our property is just a little over 200 feet from this property. As you have heard, some neighbors have adjoining properties, and there are other properties that will be affected. There was a little confusion about if this is a group personal care home or a family or personal care home, and I got confused with that. But anyway, I had heard that it was for disabled citizens over 21. This is wide open. 21 to what? 21 to what age? What disabilities? Are they physical? Are they mental? Or anybody need any special needs? Will there be need for staff to help with dressing, bathing, etc.? Will there be a staff to prepare meals, do cleaning, extra laundry? The diagram shows, from what you showed, a large parking area. What vehicles are going to be coming into this area? How many will be parked there, and for how long? It also shows a recreation area. Will any outside activities be monitored? Will they be supervised? Will any of these individuals be mobile? And Marcia covered a good bit of this, and I don't want to be redundant, but some of it needs, I think, to be repeated. In the zoning requirements, number 1 and number 2, I'll just read them. Number 1, the use must not be detrimental to adjacent properties or affect the neighboring properties. Okay, number 3 says, does it affect any depreciation? Properties must be considered. Okay, and Marcia covered this also. The property must be sufficient to meet the space requirements of the proposed use. And who determines this? Who determines this? And also, is this house accessible for handicapped people? Is it accessible for wheelchairs, walkers, etc.? Will there need to be renovations? If so, is a building permit required? And number 5 is the proposal must be consistent with the purpose and intent of the county zoning ordinance. Will this group home satisfy that requirement in a quiet rural neighborhood? And then number 6 references to road access. It does have road access to Pulaski Road, but Pulaski Road is a heavy traveled road. We have farm equipment, we have dump trucks, we have 18-wheelers, we have school buses, you name it, we have it. And it's also a shortcut from Metter, I-16, and all points beyond into Statesboro. Okay, Marshall referenced the public facilities. Public facilities are in Statesboro, EMS and fire are in Register. They're all 7 or 8 miles away.
Thank
Sheriff's
you, Ms.
Department-
Wilson, but time is up. You were actually not signed up to speak on this agenda item, but we were allowed to hear you anyways. I'll let you speak. But there was another person signed up to speak, Mr. Brahma, and so now he has no time.
So, pardon me?
The time is up.
Oh, okay. I'm
But,
sorry.
but you're actually
sorry.
not signed
I-
up to speak. That's all right. You're signed up to speak on the next
Well,
agenda
we
item.
don't think this personal care home is good in this neighborhood. It can change it completely. It's been a rural neighborhood for 55 years. I've lived there, and we would like to see it be kept rural. Thank you.
Thank you for your concerns. Now, Mr. Brahma, Mr. Brahma, or, it's hard to, we couldn't. Dennis Brahma, or?
Could be Brandon.
Brandon?
Dennis Brandon.
All right, I'm gonna give him 2 more minutes if that's all right, since he was,
I had something prepared, but I know we're short on time. I live half a mile from this place, about the same distance on the other side of my home. There's another personal care home that I've had people in the middle of the night knock on my door begging me for coffee and money and a telephone. There's been thefts at my barn out there. It's just been a mess from the get-go. And there's a whole lot of buildup going on out that way right now. Where we are is kind of a residential area, and we like it that way. We don't want a business. I mean, to me, Pulaski Highway, I don't know if y'all are familiar, the liquor store, when it moved in there about 19, whenever it was, 60-something or 70, it is a death trap. I know personally, there's probably been 20 or 25 people got killed on that road, because right where this place is, when you come up a hill there, you can't see over the hill, people are going 100 miles an hour. And I don't know, people going in and out of the driveway at their own house are in danger. It's a dangerous place. There's people that hunt, that shoot guns out there. It's not, this is the country. And I don't think, I'm opposed. I don't want it around there. I think, to me, if I was going to take care of any kind of patients, I want to be close to town where I can get to a doctor, a hospital. The sheriff don't take 15 minutes. I called him the other day because of these same people that stole stuff out of my barn. And it took them a good while to get out there. And I don't think that it's just a good location. Don't wish bad on nobody. Love everybody, love the Lord. But I appreciate it if y'all just consider that. It's a residential neighborhood. There's a long-time neighbors, been there a long time, and we want to finish out our time right out there with relative peace as much as we can have. And I sure thank you.
thank you for your concern. And is your last name, repeat your last name, please. Is it Brannon? It's Dennis Brannon? Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. All right, if we'll add 2 more minutes back to the Pontlett side, they can come up and answer any questions that they have, 7 minutes? Yeah, they have 7 minutes, but I want to add 2 more since we added 2 more to, the opposing side.
You said we have 2 minutes?
You have 9 minutes.
Oh, great.
Added 2 more minutes because we gave the other side 2 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. I tried to take as many notes as I could because a lot of information was given. First, I would like to say that I hear your concerns, and some of those concerns, I can see where they would be valid. I guess one of the biggest concerns that I heard everyone say is about safety. Are we going to be safe? We've been here for a long time, and we've been safe. We want to continue to be safe. I have a master's in business administration. I worked as a police officer for about 3 years in Florida. I worked as a mental health case manager, so I'm aware of different populations and different homes and where these concerns come from. In this particular setting, in this home, the average range in age is that need this type of help is 50 and up. These people, they cannot get around like that. They need the help that we're providing. This home that the young man was talking about earlier about them vandalizing his property, I would bet that 90% of those individuals that's coming onto his property, they probably have mental health individuals in that home that don't have that capacity. And my question to those individuals is, how are they getting away from the home? Who's monitoring them? In our home, we will have staff, and we are mandated to have staff around the clock. If you all need us to put a actual fence around the property, that's something that we're willing to do. We've already put a lot of time and money into this property, and we want to feel safe. Like, I don't want anybody in our program that's, not that's not safe. Because if they're not safe to the community, guess what? They're not safe to the individuals in the home, including the staff. So another thing is, these individuals, they're not necessarily having a background check done, but by their case managers to actually get into the program, they have to have a level of background done, if that makes sense. So nobody that's going to be coming into our program, into our home, will be a safety risk to us or the community. Hold on, I took notes. I was trying to answer everybody's questions. In terms of EMS and there being a volunteer individuals, we don't control that. So it's something in place in terms of EMS. There's somebody there to get there. If I don't know how long it takes EMS to get to and from, but if it's in that case, just like if it was somebody down the road, we're mandated to call EMS. But I don't see that actually happening a lot because, again, we have vehicles to transport to and from doctor's appointments.
And we offer, we're mandated to have 24-hour coverage. So
yeah.
with somebody, we will always be in staff hours with the residents. I think the other thing that's, I understand when you say the word group homes, you start thinking of younger individuals that's be either wardens of the states, and that's not the clientele that we're going to get at our particular home. We're also offering personal care to these individuals. Pretty much the way the program that we're getting into is set up where they don't want the individuals who might normally be in the hospital getting care from a nurse and in that type of facility. They want these individuals to have a home life type experience and structure. So we're Richmond, Florida. We have a big family. They want to have the same type of family oriented, and that's what we're offering. So anything that would affect, far as even with the time with the emergency coming to the house, which it's a 4-bedroom house, and each individual have their own room. So that if anyone wasn't having this particular business at this house, it would still be the same turnaround time as far as we had just family members in general.
Right. If there was somebody outside of us that purchased that house or was renting that house, you don't know who's living in that house. It could be the same, crazy individuals, and there's nobody here in this program to monitor it. You just don't know. Here we're offering structure, we're offering a plan, right? I think somebody mentioned
Can y'all, for everybody's benefit, give us an example of somebody who might be, like, their background, what kind of person you might be caring for, because I still don't have a real good understanding of that.
Okay, so let's say, and all these individuals have case managers, okay? Which mean that these case managers have a file on them, they're vetted through that case manager.
State of Georgia.
Right, so they would call us and say, hey, we have, I don't know, a 60-year-old individual, and they'll have a care plan for them saying they need this, this, and this. Well, it's up to us to meet that need. Well, we won't take them because we're not that type of home. Mental health, maybe they're bedridden. Like, we can't take bedridden individuals because according to the fire system that we have, they have to get out of the home within I think 3 minutes or less. So our staff is not equipped for that. We're not trained for that. So they have to be ambulatory, right? So the individuals that we get, they have to be stable enough, mentally stable. Their physical health may be poor, right? But they have to be mentally stable. In terms of caring for them, that's our job. That's what we're hired to do, to care for them, to wash their laundry, to make their appointments, to ensure that they get to those appointments, make sure that they have their medications, right? All of our staff have to be trained in every area to meet these individuals' needs.
So y'all are not, these are not gonna be people with mental illnesses?
No.
No.
No. So in
I think
terms.
there's a lot of concern.
Right, so in terms of mental health, to my understanding, you have to be licensed. That's a level of education, a level of training. I told you, my background is mental health, right? I don't want to deal with that. And I work for other people in other facilities. Like, I know 9 to 5, 5 days a week, what I'm dealing with, right? But in my home, I don't want that. So I definitely understand their concerns if somebody gonna knock on their door and some crazy stuff happen.
So
But
what y'all are dealing with.
It's
what y'all
health.
are wanting are physical problems.
Yes.
Yes,
Not mental problems.
right.
Yeah, correct.
So I think one of the guys was saying that the road, as far as the safety is concerned, like what if somebody gets loose and they go out to the road? We can easily put up a fence, right? That's not a problem. But even with that, without a fence, I don't see that happening. These individuals cannot get up and get around like that. The ones that we're accepting into our home.
And as far as security, like I said, her background was a cop in Florida for 3 years. My background's in corrections, and I did 20 years in Orlando. So we already think security oriented as it is. That's just in our natural way of thinking in life. So at this point, we have cameras everywhere that has alerts. If anybody go through the doors, the ring.
We have cameras in the interior and exterior, all around the property, 360.
And we have a little dog that barks anything that come close as far as exit and anything. So we've put procedures and policies together as far as for situations if somebody was to exit. There was no way to get the exit without us, either one of us knowing. And we're going to be in there 24 hours coverage. And if the days that we do need time, we have a system set up where people will come in and relieve us if it becomes an issue as far as us working too often. But we have set a lot of procedures. We have experience in this in Florida. We've opened up our homes in Florida in the past, and so we do have experience with this clientele. And like I said, with our background in security, we're a little bit more oriented as far as try to be proactive before situations do happen.
Well, that was gonna be my question, is how much time will you be at this facility during the daytime?
And do you live here locally? That's my other question as well.
Yeah, we live. You said we live there local? Yes, we
Well-
purchased the home. We live there. We've been getting acclimated to the community.
Where are you planning on living? Because you said there's only 4 bedrooms in the home. So where do y'all,
We're living at the home. Like I said, if we have the max we have with this program is up to 4 individuals. Obviously with us, we'll take one room and have 3 individuals at this point.
Right.
Unless
So we just wanted you all to be aware that that is the max. Most personal care homes, and I'm hoping I'm getting the name right, is 6. But for our home, we only want to do 4 because of the space, and we don't want shared rooms. We want them to be comfortable in 1 per room.
Well, if you're living there, then the maximum you could have would be 3,
Okay.
right? It's a 4-bedroom home, and if you're living there, then you'd have a maximum of 3 residents. Is that correct?
Well, yes, ma'am, but let me clarify this. I want to say for the first 6 to 9 months, it probably would be just only 3 because we want to get a feel, we want to know exactly what's going on. But after we feel comfortable enough, then we will have staff around the clock outside of us. And
But
then
then they
that,
would have to have someplace to spend the night, so where would they stay?
well, no, so it's rotated. It
Yeah.
would be rotated staff, 8-hour shifts.
And for 2 reasons, because in the past, if somebody's actually staying there and you fire them, it's an issue getting them out. So we actually rotate them in so they can't claim residency at the location.
Yeah.
and you'll still live here locally whenever
Yes.
you do move out?
Yes.
We're 100% committed.
James or Jeff, I have a question for you maybe. I know I'm jumping ahead, but on the second one, which is related to this as well, one of the conditions is a fire sprinkler system if 4 or more non-related residents are in the home. Now, is something specify, are they part of the 4 or more? Or is that actual residents that are paying clients living in the home? Is that?
Another way that's worded, I would say they're included. They're
So
residing
they're gonna need a
home.
fire sprinkler
Yeah.
system with two people. You know,
Well,
if they fill all 3 rooms, they're gonna need a fire system, because that's 4 unrelated people.
that's correct. Yeah.
That's from the fire department.
Okay.
I think that's pulling from
Then you've
a
got to be
code.
licensed by the state, and they have a rigorous interview system for you to be licensed, and you still have to go through that. That'll be contingent on the outcome of these 2 applications. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we've been proactive with that, and, we got to the reason why and like I said, on our end, when we purchased the house, I saw within the, zoning, it did say personal care, which my thing was that we was allowed to do it at that point. When we then going through zoning, as we realized we had to go through this process. But to answer your question, we have been going through the state and met all the requirements up to this point, and this is the last step as far as us.
Yeah, we've met all of the other
we was-
requirements
we
with
was-
the exception of this.
And we was anticipating with the fire alarm system and all that, we already, proactive with that, so, getting the fire alarm system in there, so.
Well, it's a fire sprinkler system, which would probably require a bigger well, and they're expensive. So I just want to make sure
Yeah,
you're understanding the condition.
So-
We did speak to the fire chief initially, and there was some, like I said, some gray areas with it, and, and they said once this gets triggered, they'll advise exactly as far as, if that's needed on the sprinkler side of it. We, like I said, we went proactive and got the alarm system, which was very expensive as well. But we was, like I said, we being more proactive with that, and we did a tour of the house, and he was saying there was, some gray areas, but once it gets triggered, as far as if we do get approved, then they'll fill us in on the next part of it.
And you do realize that this variance, whether or not we grant it, it'll still be contingent on the conditional use that's coming up next, and that'll be determined by the county commissioners. So you do understand that?
We understood there was the definite process of it, yes.
All right. If there are no other questions from this board, thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions, Mr. Bath?
I'd like to add a condition, which I believe we can do. Doesn't look very ADA accessible on this picture, from the back door to the rec area. Can we add a condition for a sidewalk if it goes through?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to
that's-
roll myself in a wheelchair in the grass. I'm sure that people that are,
Should we do that under the conditional use though, not the
On the
variance?
next,
Sure.
not in the variance.
Whatever needs to be.
correct.
Well,
Until this, what we're discussing right now.
It's just the
But
variance,
and its only purpose is because
supplemental standard.
the supplemental standards require it to be 5 acres. So a lot of this stuff we gotta deal with next.
The next item.
and I would just mention that I think that may be I don't know if it's AI generated, image, but, the fire department and the building official will be looking at ADA compliant before we, turn loose on certification for that. So, I think it's just a representative image, but note taken, and we can add that condition if that's what the board wants.
All right, then we'll entertain a motion from this board. Just remember, this will be contingent on the outcome of the conditional use. Do I need to open it back up for more discussion?
I'll make a motion to deny.
Motion to deny the variance, is there a second?
Second.
I second from Mr. Bath. All those in favor of denying the variance? That's 2. All those, how do you word this? Who oppose denying the variance? And that's 3, so that motion fails, and a new motion has to be made.
I make a motion that we approve the variance. I'm gonna comment that the only reason why I'm doing this at this point is just because it's just acres. There that we're dealing with here.
Exactly.
And I don't see a problem with the acres part of it. The issue of whether or not this can be needs to be used this way, I think we're gonna address in the next one, so. that's fine.
All right, we got a second. All those in favor of approval? All right. All right, the variance is approved. Again, it's contingent on.
Thank you.
All those opposed? And we have 2 opposed, yes. All right, so again, we voted to approve it. But again, it'll be contingent on the next item. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
All right, item number 2, yeah. I know. Yeah, they're staying here for item number 2, yeah. All right, so item number 2 is the Pontiflets have submitted an application for a conditional use to operate a family personal care home. Is that correct, Mr. Akins?
Yes, ma'am.
The property is located again at 7433 Pulaski Road. Ms. Tamika Pontiflet will be acting as agent, so you may come back up. Mary, I think it's Mary, you can, do you have anything to add to this one since it's the same? It's the same. All right. So now, are there any questions now from this board for the Pontiflets for the conditional use recommendation?
I would like to make sure y'all are aware, the staff recommends these 2 conditions on this, one of them being a fire sprinkler system shall be installed as required by the Bullitt County Fire Department for the facility of housing 4 or more non-related residents at one time, so that if this is even approved, it's gonna be conditional that y'all put a fire sprinkler system in, and also the second condition is the designated outdoor open space area shall be fenced while also meeting minimum square footage requirement based on number of residents. So it's gonna be conditional in here, if it is approved, it's gonna be conditional that y'all will be required to put in a fence as well.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make sure that I'm just typing in what he's saying. So fire sprinkler system, correct? As well, what about the fence? Were we mandated to have, I meant the sidewalk as well?
If this conditional use is granted, and that'll be up to the county commissioners at their next meeting, then these 2 conditions, if they approve it, must be met. And then anything we might suggest, which may be
Which I think James said would be probably required by the county anyway.
the sidewalk, the access.
I think we should put it in there just, to be clear in stating that they shall provide ADA access from the home to the recreation area.
Okay.
All right, so we need to add that. There's the third condition.
And
All right, yeah.
Sir, did you say ADA access?
Yeah.
That if you have a resident who is in a wheelchair, that he has, an easy access to the recreational area, which would require a sidewalk or some permanent
Yes, ma'am.
ramp system. But I think also that when the state comes in, that's one thing that they'll require as well.
Okay. So I have fence, fires, sprinkler system, and ADA access, which is basically the sidewalk from the home to the recreational area.
Yes, Mayor, I'm going to think it first. All right, so those are things that would there. Now, there again are 2 people signed up to speak. So they have some questions, and you may have answered some of them for them, but they may have others. So if you'll stand by, you still, didn't start the clocks. All right. All right, so just if you'll hold, come back, and we may call you back up.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, again, Marsha McMillan.
All right, I did have a couple other questions now that I have heard from them. I will say that one of the bedrooms, and I've been in this house, it was my aunt's house. One of the bedrooms is very small. I don't even know if it's an 8 by 10, and that would not, if it's not, it would not be considered usable space according to state requirements of the 80 square foot for personal use. So that would take it down, even another resident for them. And then what happens if they do get it rezoned? And now it's commercial use, and in 6 to 9 months, like they said, they
This is not a rezone, this is a conditional use.
or conditional use, I'm sorry. If they do get it approved for the conditional use, then in 6 to 9 months, if it's all working out and they have the staff come in and all, that they can just add on to it, make it bigger, and then have this eyesore out there. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm strongly opposed to it. I don't have any more questions at the moment. I just can't say that enough, and I know the people behind me are as well.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Wilson, you are signed up.
Jeff, can you answer?
Apologize.
No, you're
I
fine,
got
you're good.
confused, And I thought I followed Marcia, but here I am again. But like I say, we've lived there since 1971. Our property is just a little over 200 feet from this property. And Marcia's covered a lot of things, and I'll just finish up because I messed up last time. But anyway, I'll just finish up with, well, this has affect our neighborhood. This has been a rural neighborhood. I've lived there 55 years. It's been a rural neighborhood. With this personal care home or whatever it is be dropped into our rural neighborhood, I don't know. And then I guess they have applied for the Georgia license. I know it's required, but I guess they have. I guess the county would get a copy of that. I'm not sure. But then too, I asked the question, and I think I heard her say they have, at one point they have staff 24/7. Did I hear that right? So what kind of traffic is that gonna bring into the neighborhood?
It'll be
at
like
all
8-hour
times of night?
shifts. It'll be like 8-hour shifts, if I understand that correctly, or something similar.
You know, at all times of night and that kind of thing. I've been through, I talked about well, she talked about the public facilities there in Statesboro, and I know getting to the doctor, I can tell you, it takes 15 to 20 minutes to get into Statesboro. If you get behind 2 peanut trailers like I did this week, it'll take you 30 minutes, so that's a consideration too. And of course, the sheriff's department. Can this really add anything or increase, it would depreciate the property of surrounding properties? If this conditional use is approved, can it be changed at any point without further approval? So it does require a state license. Does the county get a copy? And I just want to say in conclusion, like I said, we lived here 55 years. Over the years, very little has changed in this neighborhood. It's always been quiet, neighbors looking out for each other, helping each other when they're needed, respecting each other's property. And really, is there a need in this neighborhood for this personal care home? Is there really a need here? That's the question. It will completely change this neighborhood. It would depreciate surrounding properties. And I think it'll have a negative effect. And again, I'm sorry I got confused a while ago, but we're very concerned in this rural neighborhood about its changing, increased traffic in the area. The parking space looks really large, so how many vehicles will be parked there? And then too, will any of these people be mobile? From what I've heard, maybe not, but I'm not sure if the house is handicap accessible. I don't know. I know that it only has 4 bedrooms and one of them is really small. So anyway, we're just asking for your consideration for our rural neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your concerns. Mr. Akins or Mr. Pope, one of you, just for the benefit of the audience, if this conditional use were to be granted by the county commissioners, and in 6 or 8 months, the personal care home closed for any reason, can they use this property for any other conditional use, or would it be revoked?
Well, they couldn't use it for any other conditional use other than a personal care home. Now, I don't know that the conditional use that was approved would be automatically revoked. I think that might require some additional action by the commissioners. But if You know, if we became aware that they were not using it, then I think the staff could initiate some action to terminate the conditional use. But I don't think it would automatically terminate.
Thank you. I think
Does
that
that
would
answer your
benefit the
question?
audience. They might appreciate knowing what would happen if it ceased to
Yeah.
operate.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Brandon, who? Do you have a question?
I have a question for, I think, James. Are there any, because I heard some concerns and I understand them. Is there anything in our codes that regulate the appearance of this building, with regard to this conditional use? You know how, I mean, when somebody, in a lot of our commercial zoning, you know, you got to do certain things. It's got to look a certain way. It's got to be kept up, that kind of stuff. Is there anything in the codes that are gonna work with that here, or because it's Ag 5, it's not?
I think with the structure already being built, that you're basically approving it as it is. Now, if you wanted to place a condition that, I guess, regulated any modification or additions to the structure to comply with some architectural feature to, you know, where you don't have we'll say a metal building used, and that's just something that comes to mind that may clash with the architectural appearance of a residential structure, but, I mean,
that we had in here that had joined 2 mobile homes together with a shelter that time on Kennedy Pond. That's what I'm thinking about. Like it's Wild West kind of, no.
yeah, I mean, so we could introduce a condition. Of course, it's tough to write conditions, you know, at the finish, or not finish line, but, you know, in a meeting. But I had thought while while they were talking, you could put in a condition that basically said the expansion of any structure from the time of the conditional use approval would require an additional or a new conditional use approval, so that, again, you're getting to look at it again with the thought of they're expanding the footprint of the building. You could then put in architectural, you know, making sure that it matches the architectural features of the home.
One question I have too is, and I was good, because there is a personal care home very close to this building, and I've noticed a lot of junk and stuff that just arises from around it. What is there anything to stop them from, or to ensure they keep it clean and neat and orderly?
That's a broad, yeah,
There was some wording that that maintains a certain standard.
It's the problem with Ag 5.
Yes,
Ag
sir.
5 zoning don't got that.
I mean, if it's excessive, then it typically draws the eye of code enforcement. But,
But code enforcement could step in if that was the case.
that's correct.
My question kind of loops in with Brian's. You know, what's the number of residents that this is limited to? Like, if just this conditional use is limited to how many residents? I know this home can only hold 4, but
It's limited to 4.
okay. So I know it sounded like Ms. McMillan's concern was if we approve this and they just add on, 3 more bedrooms, get a building permit to add on 3 more
They cannot have
bedrooms.
any more than 4
Okay.
residents, and now that doesn't count the two of them, but 4.
That's the designation for family personal care.
That's correct.
Rather than group for personal care, correct?
A family personal care
Only have 4,
can only have up to 4.
up to 4. All right, are there any other questions? Then we will need,
I have one
Okay.
that I want to ask. Do you all, I just need to be clear, do you all plan to live there for long-term?
We plan to live there, up to, 9 months to a year to establish the business, to ensure that it's being ran properly. And then from there, we will hire staff. Once we feel like it's, stable, and we are doing everything correctly, everything is running efficiently, and we feel comfortable enough to step away, then at that point, we will begin to hire staff.
Okay, and one other question I have, I know you said that case managers would refer them, your residents to you. Are you registered with various
We will be,
facilities?
we will be, yes.
And what kind of, like,
So this, can I?
Yes, come back up.
Based off of individual's insurance, or maybe they have private insurance, it is the case manager's job to ensure that this individual's needs are met. So if, and this per se individual needs home care, if they need a dentist, if they need whatever that need is being met, it is that case manager's job to advocate for them to find that care. So in our case, if it's housing, then we will get a phone call from that case manager saying, hey, I have this individual has these needs, can you meet those needs? Can you provide the housing, and you have the care that they need inside your home? That's why I made reference earlier about this other personal care home around the corner. That home may take in and cater to individuals with mental health and, issues or diagnosis, right? That's not the case for us. We are servicing, or our goal is to service individuals with health needs.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to, I believe we've let the applicant know this, but in our supplemental standards, section 1421, letter D, says the managing caregiver must be the owner of the property and a full-time resident of the facility. So if at any time they decide they're not going to live there full-time, then it's, they would be in violation of our standards, so.
All right, do you understand that? Okay. And regardless of whatever recommendation we make to the county commissioners, I just want to say, you've got 3 weeks that you could get with the community and maybe talk some things out and alleviate some of their fears, which probably would not hurt. Are there any other questions then? Then we'll entertain a motion of recommendation.
Motion to deny.
Got a motion to deny. Is there a second? Second for Mr. Brandon. All those in favor of denial? All right, all those opposed? Mr. Lane, what was hers? All right, so that was unanimous. We're going to recommend denial to the county commissioners, but again, you've got a couple weeks now. December 2nd is when they will hear this, in this same room at 5:30. All right, thank you. And y'all are welcome to stay, but if you would like to leave, now would be a good time if you wanted to.
And just to be clear, Madam Chair, since the variance was approved, it's kind of unusual, but if the commissioners were to approve the conditional use, then the variance would be approved. But if they don't approve it, then the variance is moot, so.
All right, so you understand that, what he's saying? If the county commissioner deny it, then the variance that we granted would go by the wayside. It's no longer applicable. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 3 on the agenda. All right, we'll let these folks leave if they'd like to. All right, we still have a couple items, so if y'all will go ahead and make your way out, thank you. Item number 3, Southern States Plantation, LLLP, has submitted a streetlight special tax district application for a new development. The subdivision is located on Colito Road. This is a streetlight district. And I don't think Mr. Bell is here. Even, so we'll need to entertain a vote on the streetlight district.
I also have an updated EMC letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the sample.
Got a sample of the type streetlights. Okay. All right, Mr. Loach, is there anything you'd like to present first? You think we're good? It's just a streetlight district, and we now have a picture of the proposed streetlights that EMC will install.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, got a motion to approve from Ms. Reiner, a second from Mr. Lane. All those in favor? All right, it is approved. All right, item number 4. CS Bunce Enterprises LLC has submitted an application to rezone approximately 2 acres from Ag 5 to Highway Commercial for the purpose of operating a contractor office. The property is located on Highway 67, and when Mr. Loach finishes, Mr. Lewis Spivey will be acting as agent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have CS Bunce Enterprises who have submitted this application to rezone 2 out of the 48 acres from Ag 5 to Highway Commercial for the purpose of operating a contractor office. Here's a photo of where the property is located, which is down Highway 67, and it is in the Georgia 67 character area. And then here's a photo of the zoning, which shows it's Ag 5, and the surrounding properties are also zoned Ag 5. Here's an aerial of the parcel. And then this is the site plan submitted by the applicant to show the 2 acres that they are proposing rezone. Here's a photo which shows south into the property, and then we have east of the property, west of the property, and then this is north of the property. And the staff recommends approval of the rezone request with conditions, and the conditions are listed within the staff report. I'm going to go back to the site plan.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Spivey?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Just a few years ago, the original owner, Mr. Tony Cooper, invited me to be a business partner, and along with my nephew, Tristan Hendricks. And the business has been in business for over 30 years. And I wanted to make it clear to anybody here that this company is not a concrete mixing company. It doesn't mix concrete, it doesn't transport concrete, and it doesn't pour concrete. It's a resurfacing company. That being said, that the building that we are interested in constructing would house materials inside the building, and there would be no materials outside the building. There would be no noise created around the building other than occasional lawn mowing or weed eating. So the neighbors would not be disturbed. There are 6 employees in the company, and 2 of those employees are office personnel. The other employees show up in the morning and leave to the job and then return in the afternoon. So during the day, there's really no activity going on other than maybe a delivery and hopefully more customers to show up and want our services. So that is the main point that I wanted to make. If there was anyone that did not understand what this business did. And it's to resurface concrete after it's poured at various locations within Bullock County and surrounding counties. So that's the part that I wanted to
Well, I'm pleased to
convey.
tell you that there is no one signed up in opposition.
Well, that's good. So we can adjourn the meeting, right?
No, not quite, but there are two other people who have signed up to speak, one of which is Mr. Matt Anderson. So if you would like Matt to come forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am Matt Anderson. I wanted to thank James Pope and the staff for the review and the recommendation for approval. Thank you, Planning Commission, for hearing our request tonight for the rezone and as well as the conditional use. Madam Chair, I'd like to touch on both during the presentation, but I understand there will be a second hearing for the conditional use.
Yes, there will.
But I'm going to touch on a little bit about what the conditional use, how it goes hand in hand with the rezone. Mr. Spivey is a co-owner of the business. The business name is Concrete Resurfacing of Statesboro. It's a privately owned and operated contractor. Therefore, we're additionally requesting for the conditional use inside the highway commercial.
That will be
Property.
addressed at the next agenda item. All
It
we
will.
really are addressing is the rezone.
Yes, correct. The rezone is for 2 acres in the Ag 5, and it is for the purpose to build a business office and establish a new established home for the business. Currently, the business is located at 1012 Cobb Road. The business has been established since 1992. The 3 partners, as Mr. Lewis mentioned, are Louis Spivey, Tony Cooper, and Tristan Hendricks, all from the Statesboro area. Mr. Spivey has been a resident of Statesboro since 1952. This location will be 5 miles south from Statesboro and 6 miles north of I-16 along Highway 67. The real reason they're seeking this new location is they need additional space. They've run out of room at their current location, so therefore they would like to build on a new piece of property and design accordingly to the new workflow that they're now in the process of going through on a daily operation. The property is, the property and use for the business are compatible with the Bullock County 2045 Comprehensive Plan, and it does lie within the Georgia Highway 67 character area. Concrete Resurfacing of Statesboro accepts all the staff recommended conditions for the rezone. I wanted to give a couple of business notes, as Mr. Lewis mentioned, that I'll just repeat. There will be no concrete mixing on site. There's no material storage on site. No noise generated on site as if this were a batch plant, which it is not. There will be a well installed, but it will be very comparable to a single-family dwelling. There's only 2 baths and a break room in the design plan for this building, so the typical well for a home. Septic system on site will be comparable to a single-family dwelling as well. And the septic has already been applied for and assessed by Bullock County Health Department. And that is all I have to say. Thank you guys for hearing us, and thank you for giving us the time to present. Mr. Lewis, would you like to speak anymore?
Ms. Bunce has signed up to speak too.
I only signed up to speak in case you all have questions.
All right. Are
Thank
there
you.
any questions on this board for Mr. Anderson or Mr. Spivey? I will say I'm glad to see that you will not be providing another curb cut on 67, that there is an existing
Yes.
entrance.
You're good with all 20 conditions? Okay. Making sure you knew those 20.
Thank you.
All right. Are there other questions? Not? We'll entertain the motion of recommendation.
Hold on.
You got a question?
No, I think I need to recuse myself from this vote. I'm not related by blood, but some might be confused that I am because Miss Gina is my aunt's sister.
There's connection.
There's a connection.
You know how to
Said you must go out there.
Then you must go out there.
do I have to go sit out there when I?
Yes, you do.
I'm
Honestly.
perfectly fine with that. It's been a long time. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
All right. With that being said, and his recusing himself, are there any other questions? Do we have a motion of recommendation? We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Bath. All those in favor? We will recommend approval to the county commissioners again on December 2nd, 5:30 in this room. All right, now we go to the next item on the agenda, which is related. And this might be the bad time to bring this up, but since I saw that there was an existing entrance on 67, we're going to see a lot of this now with more people wanting access to 67. Is there some study or anything that we can do to limit the number of curb cuts we put all the way down to the interstate? It's not something I just want to throw out there to think about.
67, I think that's up to GDOT. Ron Nelson might be able to, isn't that up to GDOT, Ron?
Purely up to GDOT.
That's purely up to
They
GDOT.
handle all the spacing and they'll take care of all that.
That's
And-
good.
It's on a case-by-case application process.
And Madam Chair, if I may, the condition number 18 anticipates an adjacent parcel access to the south so that if the remaining balance of that parcel were to develop highway commercial at now or in the future, it's reserving that interparcel connectivity so that whether that entrance moves down or not, wherever GDOT places that entrance, we are looking forward into the possibility of future development so that you don't have, like you said, 5 or 6 curb cuts for individual businesses. So that condition would,
Cover that.
anticipates that.
All right, that sounds good. All right, then we'll go on to agenda item number 5. CS Bunce Enterprises LLC has submitted an application for a conditional use to operate a contractor office. The property is located on Highway 67, and Louis Spivey again will serve as agent. Mr. Loach?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have CS Bunce Enterprises who have also submitted an application for a conditional use to operate a contractor office. Here's where it's located, like before. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the site plan. And the staff does recommend approval of the conditional use with conditions which are listed in the staff report.
All right, Mr. Spivey?
I had a couple of renditions here. In case we had some opposition, just to show what we were planning to do. This is actually what the company does is to resurface garages and pool decks and whatnot. And I've got brochures if y'all want some. Want a brochure.
May we see that also?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. As in my letter of intention, I had put a rendition of the building in that letter of intention, and this is similar. They're similar. There may be some changes. A couple of doors here, overhead doors where we can drive vehicles in and out. The other side would potentially have the same design, so we can break up wall monotony. But this is very close to what we have in mind. The location. Do you have any questions?
Nope. Well, Mr. Anderson has signed up to speak again. Is there anything he'd like to add? Ms. Bunce?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, then we will, if there's no discussion from this board, we'll entertain a motion for the conditional use. All right, Mr. Lane, we have a, Ms. Reiner, second. All those in favor? We will recommend approval to the county commissioners, December 2nd, 5:30. That concludes our meeting, our agenda items. Is there anything from the county that we need to address before we adjourn?
Madam Chair, I would just remind the board that we sent an email out either yesterday or today about the Georgia Zoning Administrators Conference in Athens in February. I can't remember the dates, but. So I know we've heard back from a few of you, and we've gone ahead and reserved the rooms. They do, I think, fill up kind of fast there.
Georgia
But
Center's not really big, so, and if you, just find it quickly, because they will put you in a hotel across the street in Athens, and, you may have to drive back and forth, so it'd be nice to know ahead of time.
But I encourage everyone from the board to look at it, and,
It will be Thursday and Friday, yeah. Thursday and half a day Friday. Registration will be Wednesday afternoon.
So it must be 5th and 6th.
Go up on the floor and come back.
okay.
We, I have, as being on, the board,
You done?
we have gone
All right.
through, and we have some very good, agenda items coming up that, for the meetings. I think you could learn a lot. And I hope that, since Mr. Matthew, is not here tonight, but he's not had any in-service training, so I would encourage him to attend.
Yep. So that's all we have. I think, Mary, how many cases do we have next month? Is it about the same number? About 7.
7, all right. And that is our December meeting. All right, at the December meeting, I think we are supposed to elect officers for the next year. Is that correct, Mr. Akins? So we need to put that on the agenda. And if there is nothing else, then is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Chandler did that real quick. All a second? Is there a second? Mr. Lane, all those in favor? This meeting is adjourned.
That didn't take no time.